Once upon a time, the art of the movies was to suspend belief. Today, the art is to create belief. One of the greatest challenges in the modern cinema was to make you believe that a man could fly. They succeeded in a film called Superman.
Hello, I'm Christopher Reeve. You know, I was thinking the other day about some of the strange parts that I've played since I started acting as a kid. One time I was the third guard from the left in Cinderella. Another time I played a tree. In Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale I played a bear, as well as lords, officers, attendants, etc. And usually I was the etc. Another time I was a Nazi. And once I had the privilege of being Katharine Hepburn's only grandson. Well, it was on Broadway anyway. But I think that if somebody had ever told me that one day I would dye my hair black and wear red boots and play a man who flies around and lives by the North Pole, I would have had to say, okay, that could be fun. And it was, playing Superman. You know, since the film opened, a lot of people have written in saying, how did you do it? Well, I don't think we should show you everything. You know, I think we should keep a few secrets. But let's go together right now. Let's go back to the beginning of filming, 1977, and let's take a look at how they make a film the size of Superman. And we can meet Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman, Ned Beatty, Valerie Perrine, Margot Kidder, and a lot of the actors and technicians who made the film. You know, Superman's been around for a long time. The kids who read him in the 30s are nearing retirement age now. But for reasons that aren't very hard to imagine, children have always had a fascination with this character. So I think the thing to do is to start by checking in with the kids of today. Let's see what they think about Superman.
Walks into a telephone booth and... Superman.
It must have like a coat hanger or a closet where you can put his costumes and then change.
Well, he came from... let's see, Jupiter.
When he's wearing his reporter suit, he might have his Superman suit being washed.
He tries to take all the crime out of Earth. I mean, it's the only planet he knows now since Krypton's blown up.
He flies and he saves people.
Well, that's it.
Hi there. Something wrong with the elevator? Going down. Nah. Officer! Good evening, Officer Mooney. Well, they say confession's good for the soul. I'd listen to this man. Take him away.
When Marlon Brando stepped on the C stage at Shepperton Studios, England, it was a momentous occasion in the history of motion picture, for it marked the beginning of filming one of America's greatest comic strip heroes, Superman. Brando plays Jor-El, the chief scientist of Krypton, who predicted the planet was doomed. Susanna York portrays his wife, Lara. They are the parents of the infant Kal-El, who is later to grow up to become Superman. Under the direction of Richard Donner, they presided over the last days of the doomed planet Krypton. The story was to be recreated in epic proportions over the long shooting period. The plains of Canada served as the great wheat fields of Kansas, where the infant Clark was raised under the care of Ma and Pa Kent. In Pinewood Studios, England, the Daily Planet set has been built in perfect detail. Tons of office equipment is brought in from the United States. The smallest details were used to recreate the frantic and disorganized atmosphere of a modern American newsroom. Mild-mannered Clark Kent became a reporter at the Daily Planet, where he met its traditional occupants, ambitious reporter Lois Lane, the editor Perry White, and young photographer Jimmy Olsen. In the streets of New York, for some high-flying scenes and the exteriors of the Daily Planet. In the foothills of the Rockies, where Superman's archenemy and foe, Lex Luthor, hated, abetted, and annoyed by the clumsy Otis, and the luscious Miss Teschmacher attempts an audacious missile hijack. Back in Pinewood Studios again, to an extraordinary set. The cavern of Lex Luthor, nestled under Metropolitan Grand Central Station. He spares nothing for his own comfort, living in the lap of luxury. In the confines of these studio walls, Arctic wastes seem to stretch far into the horizon. Styrofoam ice floats on water in a tank holding 800,000 gallons of water. Tons of salt were needed to give the impression of snow-swept plains. This caused many problems because of the corrosive effect the salt had on everything. One speck of it could ruin a camera worth thousands of dollars. Technicians had to wear rubber boots as the salt was eating through their leather soles. Carefully placed lamps, dry ice, and smoke were all assembled to create a mystical backdrop to a magical story. Action! Superman, the fictional character who, along with Sherlock Holmes and Tarzan, rank as the three most famous men who never actually existed.
Maniac. Do you really think you could hide it from me by encasing it in lead?
Cut!
The story was told to us in 1938. In comic books first, but has been told again and again in cartoons, in books, on radio, on records, in film serials, and on television. It was a bold and risky venture to attempt to put him in a full-length feature film. The idea was the brainchild of a young producer, then still in his 20s, Ilya Salkin.
Give a little bit. But what does he have here?
He persuaded his father, Alexander Salkin, and his co-producer, Pierre Spengler, that they should buy the film rights to the character.